Today, we gather to delve deeper into the topic the 4-year undergraduate program under NEP 2020 Challenges and Opportunities. To guide us through this thought provoking and highly relevant discussion, we are privileged to have with us Professor Ujjwal Kumar Singh, one of the most distinguished scholars in the field of political science.
It's better because I'm in face to face and together with you. I mean, podium is also great, but so we when we think of 4-year program, the structure which we all aware of, and this structure you can find on net and other. It's easy to get the structure. So as per structure, what we have is when we complete 3 years, then it's level 5.5. And then you have two choices. Either you continue for 4th year, which will be level 6, or you enter first year PG. So from July, August onward, there'll be 1 year PG, postgraduate, and 2 year postgraduate. So that will be, same level 6, 1 year PG. So either you do 1 year over, your college, or you move for 1 year PG to any other university which is offering 1 year postgraduate. And that will be same level, level 6. So you exit with a master's degree with 6.5 if you enter 1 year PG, because you already completed 4 years here, and then 1 year PG, you get master's level 6.5. So from 5.5 to 6 to 6.5, that's one trajectory. 4 year UG, 1 year PG, and then so 0.5 you keep on getting. But suppose after you leave after 3 years, join 2 year PG, and then after 3 years, if you join PG and if you drop after first year, you get a diploma. You already have undergraduate degree. So degree you have, will get diploma. But if you complete 2 years, then you get a master's degree, which will be again 6.5. So you have two trajectories over here. Now within UG 4th year, you will have different trajectories over there. Level will be the same. But say, for example, one stream would be completely research. Another would be coursework and research. Delhi University has put in another trajectory over there, completely based upon what they call entrepreneurship. Some form of innovation, entrepreneurship. So that structure you can get on the internet, this progression from UG to PG. So over here we are concerned, and then there are detailed courses which will be offered. So I think younger people who are looking forward to 4th year, or what going to happen after 3 years, you also do net search, what would the scheme say in Azim Premji University, or what was happening at Ashoka University. So what Ashoka did, when 4-year program was introduced in Delhi University, and then it was reversed. That time, many private universities started 4-year, and then they had to give up. So what Ashoka did, it made Ashoka Scholars Program for 1 year, where anyone from outside could have joined 1 year. But Ashoka University's own student would have joined 1 year Ashoka Scholars Program, which was a research-based program. So what is the advantage? And I'll be fair and straight with you. I'm not here to sell 4-year program. I'm not here to sell PG program. So my vantage point would be, if as a student, what do I have to do? Where do I find my space? That's important. That's important. And there are 3 elements over here. One is college and infrastructure. In social science, humanities, probably that is of less of challenge. In natural sciences, it's more challenging, because you need lab, you need collaborations. In social science humanities, it's much about thinking, doing, connecting, putting pressure upon ourselves to be trained. So infrastructure is important, I mean, you have this such a nice conference hall. Not many places have. You have infrastructure to some extent, and there's much more required, right? So that's one part. Second part is faculty. See, they're all young colleagues. Literally, I know every one of them. And at least I trust that they are among the best. Whether they have really performed depends on you. Fine? Everyone over here, and I'm not just, it's not a lip service, which is there. Everyone is special over here. As a student, whether you're able to get best out of them, that's your, and are you demanding? And you have to be demanding. You have to push them for whatever ways you can do that. You have to run to the car, say, sir, stop, we need time. Remember, there's something which is there as a community. You pressurize your faculty members, mentors, seniors, push them. After 2 days, when they say, I don't have time, 3 days, they don't say they don't have time, 4 days, they don't have time. Fifth day, they themselves will be ashamed that here is such a sincere student, where I am. So now you have to get the best out of them. So I won't talk much of faculty, but this manthan, what is happening, faculty has to do. Faculty has to really think about what's going to happen fourth year, because it's a symbiotic relationship. Because one crucial component of fourth year would be your research. Now, theoretically, you may write a dissertation which may be, say, 100 pages, 80 pages, or say 40,000 words. But most important is your research, even it's a lengthy paper. If it's of quality, it's of good quality, that's going to matter, and there the faculty may come in. So remember, faculty would have equal stake in what you are producing. But let me leave that and go to something else. We'll come back to this. At the level as a student, if you read what is there printed in newspapers and all, something which was projected, fourth year program now makes it in sync with global program everywhere else. You may have also gone through newspapers, reporting, So USA had, China had, okay, 4-year program. So now remember, students who wish to go abroad, they don't have to do bridge course. So many students, when they passed out, they spent enormous amount in doing 1-year MA, MSc program or 1-year MPhil program outside India. Because only after that you became eligible for PhD program, right? So many did MPhil. Now we have given up MPhil, but MPhil continues in some other countries. So 1 year or 1-year MSc. So that was one trajectory, that the Indian undergraduate or college system is in sync, is connected with higher education anywhere in the world. And now when I'm saying this, I'm not pushing you, inviting you to, all of you, to go abroad. It's not that. But those who have ambition and those who are trained, they may actually take up this possibility. But then you have to take your fourth year very seriously. Because see, universities anywhere in the world, unlike India, you're talking about West, Europe, North America, Australia, New Zealand, they are keen to give you admission, because they they live by the fees which you're able to give to them, which is very expensive, very high fees. So admission won't be problem. So I think last year or last year I was in Venkateshwara College and I saw at least 4 of them who had got admission abroad. So undergraduate students, and probably in your college it must be happening. It's always happening. They're going. But there was a problem. With 3 years there was a problem, right? Because you had to do another degree, and many fellowships, once you have spent a year abroad, then they bar you that already you have been there, so someone else will be given an opportunity. So that's also you have to figure out. But that's just one trajectory. So what you're supposed to do in fourth year, supposed to prepare a research proposal and work on that, and either submit a dissertation or a research paper. Now, university has made guidelines a bit strict, So anything which goes into publication, that the Delhi University, guidelines. So any other scholastic work as recommended by DRC and BRS and approved by Research Council. So Department Research Committee comes in, Board of Research comes in, and then it has to go to Research Council. Now, some would say, why this bureaucratic structure? We are good enough, we can handle this. But remember, every institution works with checks and balances. Okay? Because ultimately, institutions are there to serve the students. Okay? Publication in reputed journals, which says such as Scopus Index Journal and any other. And book or book chapter in a publication by a reputed publisher. So soon after 4th year, you'll be finding a deluge of emails into your box asking for your chapter, and somebody is going to edit that. My own principle is, don't do that. You are young, you're fresh, you have ideas. Your research articles must go into serious journal. And there is a problem because there are not too many serious journals. There is a problem. There was much hype about UGC Care. There were not too many serious UGC Care journals. We all know over here there was a reputed, and we all read that Pratiman, which was never part of UGC Care. It's a Hindi journal. There was something about it, so there's a talk that UGC Care journals list has been given up, but we don't know yet. Idea is you'll be running after journal, but some stage, and this will be challenged to all college colleague and all university fraternity and sorority, that there has to be an in-house publication, not only for students and faculty over here, but remember, if Dyal Singh College Political Science Department come with an idea of journal, there'll be at least 300 to 400 submissions just after 1st, 4th year, because students are keen to publish. You have to maintain integrity, you have to ensure that. So that's another thing which is not in the hand of students, but it's in the hand of faculty and the institution to start, because there is a demand and it is time consuming. In faculty, teachers, their workload, their scheme of thing, this doesn't give any additional, points to them or support to them if you're working on a journal. But this is important, right? You'll be looking at. But the bottom line is your research has to be of a very, very good quality. So it's no longer your internal assessment that you're submitting something, you're getting that marks, 28 out of 30, that won't matter. Because that publication will be your evaluative framework for any higher degree. So this is meant for those who wish to go into research and train themselves. आ जाओ क्यों उधर से झाँक रहे हो, बुला लेना भैया, कोई आया तो बुला लो उसको. हाँ. Then remember, there's a whole stream, a large number of students will be taking competitive exam. Am I right? And you had people who've excelled in competitive exam from this college, we know that. For them, it's not 3 years or 4 years which is going to matter. All 3-year trainings would matter there, right? All 3 years training would matter over there. But for that matter, Delhi University seats for PG are always full. Always full. So started with 350, now even 700 seats. And there are still, thousands who don't get admission. Okay? So it may not sound right or good, but then 4th year becomes your default option. If you don't get in PG, postgraduate, then you have a space to carry on. You have colleagues, you have facilities. Remember, prior to that, you didn't have. After 3 years, either you get admission somewhere, fine, and you're not going anywhere else. You study in Delhi University, so it's not easy for you to actually go to any other place, fine. So you either go to JNU or you go to Delhi University, few other universities which are there. So in that sense, 4th year will be very useful because you are in a place where you're at ease, you know the place, you know the faculty, you're not doing PG, but in fourth year, if you have not done enough in your past 3 years, fourth year will be completely devoting to your training yourself, developing yourself, preparing, for various exams, but also doing research, but primarily research. Now, so in that sense, either it's default option or your first choice. It could be both, depending how much the college is able to give you, right? And then otherwise, 1 year PG or 2 year PG becomes your default option, right? So this is a phase, transitionary phase which we're looking at. There's a whole structure which my colleagues are best to explain to you, that what you do when you're writing a research paper, you need to have some concern in mind, some challenges in mind, somewhere you're passionate about, somewhere you're involved about. So you think of a theme, you start looking at first reading literature. And remember, you have to bank on what you have done in 3 years. So I hope you're doing all 3 years seriously, because what you do in 3 years, there'll be a lot of ideas which will come over there, training will be there, because you just don't pick up something and you start reading on that survey of literature. So what you've read earlier, that literature will be useful. Also, you have to remember your generation is, things are changing every day. I'm sure you're watching news and WhatsApp and others. So last 2 days the news is coming from China. And what is that news? Absolutely. No, that's what you have to be there. You have to be up. Remember, faculty may not be, but you will have to. So it's not deep fake, it is deep seek. Huh? I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking of fake all the time.
It's fake.
I have to think positively. It's deep seek, okay? And all of a sudden, what happened? If you look at the stock market in USA, the most reliable, something which was seen as the most reliable, everyone was putting money, they just came down, tumbling down. One small innovation. See the power of innovation. Now you have to be ambitious. You have to be ambitious, right? So your world has to remember, you have to push, you have to demand, you have to say, well, these things should be part of our syllabus. It's no longer about computer science teachers as such, no longer about sciences as such. It's actually about social sciences. You need to know about all these AI, because even if you Google, and I Google, what I see is first two entries also always coming from GI. First two entries is no longer human. It's machine which is giving you entry, everything. I think even for 4 years, the first two entries were, the machine which gave. Means I call it machine. It's not human, remember. They keep on doing it. So soon have we been replaced. How are you going to find out? Remember, it's not only Dyal Singh, it's happening in other colleges. But I must conclude this is the first college which I know in Delhi City which has this kind of session on 4 years. Trust me, this is your first class, because I'm going to many colleges, I'm asking every principal, I'm asking colleagues, what are your plans for fourth year? Yours is the first college where you have this kind of interaction in fourth year, which is important, right? So rest be assured, fourth year is not only a default option, fourth year would be important option. If you're prepared to do a serious research paper or journal, you have 1 year PG, like 4 year, even that is a transitionary thing, because new courses are coming up for that. Fine. So all departments are preparing courses for 1 year PG. 2 year PG is also undergoing change in light of this. 3-4 years. See, scheme could be any, but the fundamentals remain the same. So, and that would be my last thing, and then I would like to hear from you. See, one is your political science and so many courses. With NEP, you already, you have seen newer kind of courses. SEC, there are many types which you do it, fine? From arts, music, culture, everything what you do that. However, Ekta and they were representing POLIS over here. All of you part of POLIS. You have one body. But how many other bodies do you have? So, one college I was all the time surprised, why is it figuring so high in NIRF ranking, ERSD? And I kept every time asked principal, how why, how come you're getting this rank? And he always said, sir, why don't you come and see? There are three committees and organizations, which was looking at and representing Northeast. Not one. And they had excellent programs. Now, somewhere in our imagination, Northeast government wants, always pushing Northeast should be there at the center. But in our framework, somewhere Northeast is periphery as a border. Kashmir is a border. Bastar is a border. Even Kerala was made a border. Remember admission controversy. Now, you need to have all those, cultural ways of bringing those things forward. So Northeast, remember, how come your research project, how can you connect different parts of the country, culturally, socially, in terms of civilization, in terms of knowledge framework, right? So it may sound very simple now, Google translates everything. But if you're thinking of different kind of projects, I hope you had MUN, Moon, right? You have United Nation?
Yeah, debate.
Debate, but remember there is a Moon program which runs. Many colleges have this. So you have United Nations body in your college where you sit there, fine. There will be one on opposition, others there, all other members, they represent different countries, you ask question. I hope you have. See, if you don't have, you have to immediately start all these things. Fine. 4 years is not only research paper. Everything which you learn in societies, through culture, through interdepartmental relationship. When you have dance programs, you don't look in terms of department. Don't you go across different department, different batches. You don't look in terms of senior and junior. You just come together and you bring a magic on the stage, right? Education has to be that magic. It can't be in silos. So if you are unable to connect with economics, your papers would be better if you actually connect with your friends, batchmates, other people in different. So you need to have a virtual board all the time where you can throw an idea, let 2 people join, 3 people join, 4 people join, they can sustain. So you have to have something new way of doing undergraduate. Fine. I'm excited about that. I'm looking for, because the thing which is we get from the younger people, no way we can match. No way we can match, right? So where is that creativity? Have you connected with history and sociology or music or computer science? If you haven't, that's the problem. Because the research, remember, has to be, every research paper will have to be innovative. It has to be new. And new is not something which you pluck from sky as such. New is something which you actually connect and build up. Okay? So cultural societies, that interaction, debating societies, notice boarded. You have WhatsApp world, but some virtual notice board where sharing is going to take place. Fine. So your 4-year program in political science would succeed if other departments succeed. It can't be one up. It has to be somewhere in sync. And remember, I could see my faculty, so many faculty doing sitting over here, they are serious. Fine. I wish likewise it happened in another department. That's something which is going to give you. So admission abroad is one option. Doing internship, and internship, remember, not certificate, because everyone would say, okay, I'll get this certificate. If I sit in the interview board, remember, that does not matter how many certificates you have done. What matters is somebody is going to ask you a question, okay, you were doing this internship, what have you learned? What is new thing which you've learned? That part, that's very important. Community outreach is no longer just quota, which is going to say that these 2 villages have been adopted by Dyal Singh College. Community is not somewhere there, community is around and outside, So elections are, beautiful sites to know about a place, a city. So in newspaper which are reporting, where is Bhalsava, where is this? You have to reach out. Maybe one amongst you may be coming from that area. Bring that project over here, fine? And gradually you'll need some support. Some support which faculty would push the college administration to provide some support. Right now, even college faculty do not get support. Many colleges have provided some financial support, little bit of financial support, right? That may be. But more than that, your involvement would be important. So 4 year could be, you can make your 4-year program something very interesting and important in your life. But then you have to do many other things apart from what you're reading in a course as such. I'll stop here.
Sir, एक question था। सर एक क्लैरिटी चाहिए थी। आपने बहुत अच्छे से हमें समझाया, लेकिन एक टेक्निकल चीज जो मुझे हॉन्ट कर रहा है, मैं उस पर बहुत क्लियर नहीं हूँ। मेरे सोर्सेज जो न्यूज़पेपर रीडिंग है, इट मे बी राइट और रॉन्ग, हमने पढ़ा है कि अगर बच्चे कॉलेज से यूजी करते हैं एंड इफ दे स्कोर अराउंड 75 दे कैन डू पीएचडी डायरेक्टली, और कैटेगरी का है तो 5% का रिलैक्सेशन है। तो आप जो क्रेडिट वाला बता रहे थे, जैसे यूजी में भी दे गेट 5.5, तो 1 ईयर अगर उन्होंने 4 ईयर यहाँ किया तो दैट कम्स टू 6, नॉट 6.5, बट दे आर डूइंग डायरेक्टली पीजी पीएचडी। तो इसमें थोड़ा सा मतलब जो, क्योंकि वहाँ आप कह रहे हैं कि 6.5 होना चाहिए, लेकिन यूजी अगर एक तो वो थोड़ा सा क्लियर करो।
See, so 4th year UG would be 6.
6, yeah.
4th year UG will be 6.
Suppose they directly go to PhD.
And they can still directly go to the PhD with certain percentage. But remember what is not there, a part of this program, you also have to clear NET. There's, as per new UGC rules, which implemented from this year, everyone has to clear NET. So GRF is there, NET is there, and the third category consists of students who have cleared, NET exam, only NET exam. Those who have cleared, qualified for only PhD. So they are not eligible for teaching, but they are eligible for PhD. Right? So that you can do. Okay. But see, right now in political science, say you have 1,200 students competing for 40 seats. I'm assuming that research, full-time research is one and probably not the core option. 4th year is not only for PhD. That if we keep in mind, and then start asking, then what 4th year is going to give me? Okay? So that's the empty space. Your research paper, your interaction. So I see in many CVs what they have done, which I don't know, only when students ask for recommendation and then I look at the CV. But students do it. More than us doing it, they themselves do it. So they join, so there's a Praja system in Delhi. Now what Praja did, organization, students applied there. Those students were now put in touch with Delhi councillors, those who were elected in Delhi, MLAs, but municipal councillors. So students were assisting those councillors in preparing some document, some plan. We know of LAMP Fellowship. The LAMP Fellows are attached to members of parliament. But I met a student in MA, and he runs a consultancy program. He's doing MA. And I was surprised that he, on virtual world, you do this. So he got request from MP from Assam to prepare something, for his constituency. And this MA student actually, in turn, got 2 interns to work with him. And they were preparing that. So students have a different world. Fine. So 4-year program, what happens, you train yourself. Say, for example, you learn to write project. Already probably you have offered a course on research methodology. Right?
This year, 6 semesters.
Now, see, research methodology, most of us teachers are not trained in the whole research methodology. Let me confess to you. We do part of that. But now there's no escape. Students need to be trained into research methods, and faculty needs to be trained in research method. Without research methods, not going to happen. Research method is absolutely important. Because with that research method, only when you know how to go about, So you may land up with hundreds of political consultancy which do survey work. That won't be intellectually stimulating. You may meet the people, you may know about people, you may go to the field, and that's a good learning. But remember, you're not supposed to bring your ideas, you're not supposed to coax them, you're not supposed to push them. Whatever comes in your questionnaire, you have to bring in, otherwise it will be polluted, right? Now, research methodology would help you to think more in terms of writing proposal, writing research paper, and also think in terms of outcome. Now, once it materializes the outcome, so every department sent to the university what is expected out of 4-year program, the outcomes, what kind of research they expect students to do, right? Now, they may know only a little bit. Students would be knowing better. So 4-year program minus PhD itself is a very important program. With 4th year training you into skills other than, say, learning about political thought, Indian political thought, Western political thought in politics, gearing you towards hands-on applied research. That is important. And then, of course, as Vijayji said, it opens the possibilities for PhD research. If you qualify NET and if you have certain percentage in your undergraduate 4-year. That's one.
Yes. But chalo. Yeah, raise your hand and introduce yourself and then ask question.
And see, you don't have to ask questions. You can even give suggestions because, I have to carry something from you. I know very little, you know that. Yeah.
So my name is Gitanj. So basically, I have one basic question. A lot of us have a doubt that whether or not 4-year is actually going to happen, because we don't really have any communication in terms of what the syllabus will be or what the kind of system will be followed in that. All do we have is that one UGC flowchart we got originally when we started our UG degree here. That's the most information that we have ever got about 4th year. So one is that because of that we are in a bit of a limbo, I would say, between actually going ahead and preparing for CUT PG if we want to, or going ahead and just hoping that okay 4th year we can cover it. That one is that. Second, is there going to be any kind of requirement for 4th year? As far as we know, it's like 7.5 CGPA for as a qualification criteria for giving net in for PhD. Is there going to be any bridge qualification between 3rd and 4th year? One, that question. Second, in terms of research, is it going to be compulsory that we are going to have to get our research published? And if published, is that has to be in an external publication? And if external, will there be any resources provided to us for that, or will we get facilities on the university scale or on the college scale to publish here, or all we have to do is make a research paper which we can present to our panel of teachers who would then judge upon that. Secondly, about the competitive exam stages, what kind of I would say system will be followed in that, given that if we are also doing research in that, I don't think so we are going to follow the normal semester system that we have been following till now in terms of having these many DSCs and course specific courses and just practicing them with actually having a perhaps a 40,000 or 50,000 page thesis that we are writing here.
चलो ठीक है. Not. Sir, पहले एक करके आंसर करते अच्छा रहेगा. He has already, I think, asked 4 questions.
Lots of questions. Yeah, important.
एक साथ ले लेते हैं क्वेश्चन अगर ये मिला
फिर ज़्यादा हो जाएगा.
कोई बात नहीं. हाँ बताओ.
सर डिसाइड कर लेते हैं.
मास्क खोल के बोलो.
Yeah, you have to do this. That's something new, okay? The small instrument which you're passing. Oh, great, yeah.
If we do 4th year PG, how many colleges are offering 1 year? No, if we do 4th year undergraduate, how many colleges are offering PG 1 year, and what is the procedure to get into that?
PG 1 year colleges.
हाँ जी.
कॉलेजेस में नहीं.
I mean, other than DU.
Other than this.
Any other want to ask? हाँ बे please carry on. दे दो.
Good morning, sir. So
जोर से बोलो.
उससे साथ भी बोलो, माइक के साथ और वो भी.
Good morning, sir. So basically, I have this question. Under NEP 2020, will students have the option to choose between a research focused stream or a combination of coursework and research? Like, how will this work? Thank you.
Combination of research and
coursework.
coursework.
Only research or research? Any other piece?
Any other suggestion which you may have apart from question which you are having? Very useful question. Because remember, you also imagining fourth year. These are your anxieties which are coming up. But you may have some blueprint in your mind what you're going to do in fourth year. Do you have any? Have you thought? So why don't you share that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, I want to go ahead and pursue research here so that I can have a bit of experience, because I actually want to go into think tanks and actually practice strategic and intelligence thinking there. So maybe go ahead for ORF or maybe China desk, etc. So that's what basically I want to do in
Brilliant. So think tank is one useful area which you're thinking. So remember also now you think in terms of not something which is permanent, full assurance. So you have to renew yourself every 2 years, 3 years, which quote unquote we say happens in private sector. It's completely swept aside. What was established, say, 5 years back, it's completely swept aside. And then you move to new area, you train yourself. I think that's much going to happen with your generation, right? So maybe some clarification if I can give you. See the different, at least the whole framework is concerned. They have thought of, say, first stage is ideas generation and validation. Then you have, remember, I'm not assuming you're doing only what is supposed to be core political science. You have to go beyond that. So second theme is finalizing the business idea. Now we don't much talk about in social sciences, humanities, but there is, and at least I've met half a dozen students who completed their PhDs in US universities, in anthropology, in sociology. The job which they were getting is in firms which are dealing with data and industry. So, for example, we know that there is Meta which is there. We also know that Meta, there is a backhand which is technology which works, algorithm and others coding which works. But what we see is humans with the ideas, social, political, cultural. Now, not everything is machine conditioned. Somewhere humans also look at those, what is happening. And in turn, that their analysis of what is happening on the virtual world, they look into that, they study those, and they give it back to those, the backhand people. How to make algorithm, what is sensitive, what is wrong, right? Every time. And remember, it's dynamic thing. You're talking about billion hits at a point of time. So those who've done their PhDs are getting work in Deloitte, in Google, from social sciences. It may not happen with everyone, we know that. But until you think big, you start thinking, imagining new things, how will you enter that world, right? So there are options over there. Nitty-gritty, remember, 1 year PG will be at the level of department, at the level of university level. 1 year PG at present is not happening at the level of colleges. How many colleges are doing? What I read is 200 universities have accepted NEP, but not all. Okay, and it will be gap. It's a huge gap, which is all over the country. But Delhi University, certainly 1 year PG and fourth year. Now you're asking whether it's certain, absolutely certain. At least I'm not in a position to say. I'm here as a fellow colleague. So there's every possibility it will happen, and we have to be prepared for that. See, what I'm emphasizing, your 3 years are most important. Don't leave everything to the 4th year. If you're doing in the first 3 years, 4th year you can do something new. But if you want to make it 4th year as a past 3 years, then there's no use. For that matter, you can do another BA or MSc, whatever. So 4th year, if you want to make it something significantly different, then your first 3 years is going to matter, right? Unlike 4th year, 1 year PG will be more conventional. It will be courses, because remember, in your mind, you're thinking in terms of Dyal Singh College and DU or JNU. But DU and JNU are thinking not only Dyal Singh College, they are thinking of combined entrance test and students coming from all over the country. And they may have different system. So there the challenge is that someone who's joining MA program with a 1 or 2 year, who's not trained into political science, what do you do with that? You can't offer an advanced course there. So there the push is that you have to teach fundamentals. So 1 year PG will be more in terms of fundamentals, right? UG 4th year certainly talks in terms of research. Term papers, publications, dissertations. 1 year PG does not. With 2 year PG, there's a possibility. But numbers are huge, right? So these are possibilities which are there. In-house publishing, out-house publishing, there are not too many journals within the university where it's going to accommodate, research papers from students. So every faculty also struggles with the same challenge. So there's no bar if you're publishing anywhere. Nobody can stop you. I've seen some of the best columns, some of the most interesting columns coming from undergraduate students. Those may be online platforms, Wire, Print, Citizen, a huge number of them. They don't stop. They are looking for new ideas, right? It's not research paper, but your name is in the print. And remember, if your name is in the print and which matters, if written, anyone who's part of recruitment would certainly look at that. Because they also they'll say, okay, here is one. It's not even a research paper, but they will say, okay, here is a person who's got flair of writing and can think of new ideas. So you remember, you don't have to just you have to do this which is important. Your research paper decision is important. But more than that, if you develop that skill, you'll have to find a place to send it. Don't stop. Nobody's going to stop you. Faculties will have new challenges of guiding research. They're already guiding PhDs. But to guide 4th year research, students in 4th year, their term papers, think of the scale. And every student is coming with a new ideas. So there's a huge challenge to the faculty to mentor, to look into this. Which question did I miss from yours?
So one, I think certainty. I think you asked certainty. It's about whether it would be compulsory to actually go ahead and publish outside, or it would actually just be a thing that you can do.
See, dissertation, all dissertations are not published. PhD dissertations are not published. Someone who works on that really pushes, because then it's market, then it's availability. Okay. So some of the most prestigious publishing houses from Delhi, from India, they have closed. Oxford University has closed. They become global. Sage has closed. Those are two prestigious. Cambridge University Press is doing. So what has happened, not only you, all of us, fine? We are faced with the challenge of publishing research articles. Because see, if you publish a book, it's refereed one time. But every research article has a fresh beginning and fresh ending, and it has to be vetted. There's to be refereed. You have to be very careful. Remember, I'm talking about the best, the most serious work. You have to see that it goes to a journal where they vet, they give you feedback, where there's anonymous referee. And for that matter, it's not part of course, Prakash, it's not part of the course. But what you'll have to do is, You have to find, and your faculty is there to assist you. Okay, which journal? So for years we have not paid that attention. As a student body, and you have to form a body, you have to form some kind of research body, faculty and students together, because many of these things students do better. Identifying, say, list of 100 journals, and see, it's not political science journal, it may be education, it may be environment, it may be climate, it may be gender, because your interest in political science will go to many areas. So you need to identify those 100 journals, 200 journals, which, and remember, all colleges will be doing that. And sometime you have to spend what kind of journal takes what kind of article, which, trust me, it's good. What if it happens with you, it will be good for faculty, because faculty has probably not that done homework, but you will be in a better position to do that. It's not mandatory to publish, but if you're doing 4-year research degree, why not publish? I'm telling you, not everyone can publish because there's not that much of space. However, you have to push yourself. Say 1 out of 10 or 1% even gets published. That's good. But at least you'll have something in hand, because see, these things are not instant. A good scopus publication takes 2 years, 3 years. You're going to do a degree in 2 semesters. So you're not going to do that. But hang on, don't give up. You've done some good research. Take time. In course of time, it may be published. Okay? So that will be important. It's not mandatory as such, even though university says that it has to go into this, but I'm sure different disciplines would have different criteria. That's going to evolve.
Okay, Sujit sir.
So as a faculty, I have also certain queries.
Sir.
I got the right example from my own college as a convener of academic committee and convener of head of committee. First, we have floated the community outreach program in the course structures, but it has been not allowed by the college without any kind of discussion. So whether as a department we have this kind of right, we can post, yes, we are going to offer this program or not. Second, I just want to ask, across the university, if you have seen, the reduction of students have been taking place everywhere. Even in my college, if you see the third year strength of the students, almost 1,000 students have been decreased. Except the political science department, if you see, the number is just 1,500 to 1,600. If you compare with the before the NEP, the number was 2,600, 2,500, 2,700, 2,800. So if in the fourth year, if the like right now the strength of third year students is 80 and 90. If 70 students would be moved from college to other side, so whether as a department we have this kind of right to, we can say yes, we can only go for the fourth year course with a 10 student, 20 students, because many times college without any kind of deliberations make a cap, only 10 students, only 20 students. Without 20 students, you cannot offer the paper. So these are the challenges which we have been facing. So of course, at the Department of Political Science, we may have a student, but in other departments there is no student. So that is another challenge. Third point, what I try to tell you, there are a number of times in the academic committee we discussed about. If we offer the dissertations, so what the credit would be, and how the teachers would be made, if any teachers would be given as a guide. Okay, you will take the dissertation of the students, and that students are posters group. So what will be the credit? That is not clear yet in the college level, because we discussed number of times in the academic committee and we asked for this. Then also the fourth question is like the DSC papers. The fourth semester also the DSC paper is available, but many times college would not allow us. Make the cap, if at least if you have 20 students, then only you can offer this paper. So these are the basic challenges we have been facing as a department for the new education policy. So whether the department has any kind of right to push all these papers, or whether the college and university would decide for everything, yes, whether you would go for it or whether you would not go for it. When we offer this time community outreach program, but without any kind of regulations, it has been not allowed to us. So we just want to know about it.
So, and that's again, I don't know whether students are realizing it. It's really grateful to all of you, Nikhilji and Karnakar, all of you, because this kind of interaction about entire university structure, programs, was much needed, because students are equal stakeholder over here. In fact, probably it's really part of their life. So Sujiji knows, we all know, that it's Academic Council and Executive Council of Delhi University, which is the final authority to finalize everything in terms of credits, uh, you know, what could be taught in terms of course content, also in terms of what facilities teachers would get. That's the body, you know that. That's the body which is going to do that. But say, Sujit, if I were in your position, and this is encouraging. I mean, I'm sure it's encouraging for you, number of students over here. So I would say, and remember there, I don't think if department is there together, we don't really have to wait for any staff council, staff association. For every committee, we need to have a huge involvement of students. So suppose in this year, those who are passing out, there are 10 students who are doing fourth year over here. They have to be equally part of all such initiatives. Say, for example, academic committee, which you're saying, or research committee, which you're saying. Something is at the college level. It's more about funding and others. But in terms of intellectual pursuit, if department does that, with not all faculty members, maybe all faculty members, but certainly large number of students part of it. So this one thing about identifying journal, probably except for economics, nobody gave a list of 200 journals to the university till now. When this whole thing is taking place, that college colleague will supervise where is their publication. This is a golden opportunity because students now have a stake in publication, right? They will do better job in terms of identifying, but they need your guidance. So if you right from the, maybe first year is too early, second or third year, you have this kind of, group. If police can do this, police can do academic committee, research committee, you can name it differently, get them involved. And once you have students, nobody refuses. That we agree. Now, you're saying rightly, different department was political science, and right now I'm speaking of political science, numbers have not gone down anywhere. Not gone down anywhere. And see, remember what we are not looking at, and the way system works, I wish there was more better structure. Once you have fourth year independent, not your student, if you make it open for admission in fourth year itself, those who cleared undergraduate, say for example, Delhi University itself you open, that now fourth year students from other colleges can take admission. Things may change. If you open for, remember it's a central university. Central university is not meant for Delhi, it's not meant for Dyal Singh. Anyone can come in. If suppose that opens up for entire country, you may have a very different system as such. So remember, you on the one hand, you're looking for excellence of research paper. On the other hand, you're looking for training, because they may come from 3-year program which they are not trained, right? So at all level, and this transition I think is important, not because of the outcome, because that gives up new ways of thinking. So what you're doing is basically you're thinking anew. What may happen? Fine. If students are not there, what may happen? Who is going to decide? Who will supervise? Right? I mean, if you get 60 students, all of you supervising 5, you won't have time. They will be after you. Ki, sir, it's not enough. Younger, the better, and the more they push you. So this will be more challenging time for all of us. Right? We are just even talking about one stream, research stream. But there's a whole entrepreneurship which is different, which many of us not trained in this model. So if they come with this new models, what are we going to do? So I think it's probably as a department as a whole, if we start looking at, so third year itself, we make them, get them involved. They may come in, they may pass out. They may go to first year PG or 2-year PG. They may go to other institution. But some who are there, or many who are there, would already find a feat over there, that now I've got plans. So if you want to retain students over here, you'll have to work on third year. You have to make them part of all your schemes in third year, so that they have a stake over here, that I've started this project I better compete in this, right? And the college has to do that, and interdepartmental would be very important. Now, looks all theoretical, but see, it could be done. Honestly, if you just leave it to the students, they will do it. मेरा अपना मानना है. आप स्टूडेंट पे छोड़ दीजिए, and don't censor on anything. Let them do research on any topic. Let them do research. Fine. Let something new come up. Fine. So if students are pushing, if faculty is pushing, nobody stops. But these are not answers. These are more of a passion, involvement. I'm looking at some exciting changes which may happen. We are all in a world of uncertainty, and uncertainty is good. Certainties we have lived for so many years. Let something new come out. Why not? हाँ बोलो ना, बोलो.
गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन. मेरा नाम ऋतिक है और मैं ज्योग्राफी डिपार्टमेंट का स्टूडेंट हूँ. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि सर हम देखते हैं कि 6 महीना पे एग्जाम होता है, सेमेस्टर एग्जाम. हमारे पास 6 महीने होते हैं, उसमें से 1 महीना हॉलीडे, समर वेकेशन, विंटर ब्रेक और मिड सेमेस्टर ब्रेक निकाल दो. 1 महीना हमारा एग्जाम ही चलता है, बचे 4 महीने. 4 महीने में 15-20 दिन टेस्ट असाइनमेंट प्रेजेंटेशन वाइवा प्रोजेक्ट
सही
सुन लेते हैं.
कभी हम नहीं जा पाए तो कभी किसी कारणवश कोई प्रोफेसर नहीं आ पाए. तो सर 4 महीना में मुझे लगता है कि हमारी जो क्रिएटिविटी है वो खत्म हो पा रही है, और 6-7 सब्जेक्ट पढ़ के हम 3-4 महीने में 3 महीने में कैसे अपनी क्रिएटिविटी बनाए.
ठीक.
मेरा सर मानना है कि सर ये एनईपी जो है 6-7 सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाने का जो ये पैटर्न रखा गया, इसे रखा जाए. ये कहीं ना कहीं एक हद तक ठीक भी है, लेकिन इसे 6 महीने करा करके 1 साल तक किया जाए, क्योंकि हमारे पास एक ज़्यादा समय मिलेगा और अपनी इसमें जो भी एक्टिविटी वगैरह करनी है वो करता है.
ठीक है.
यस यस कम.
My question is, as a BA program student and a civil service aspirant, which will be more beneficial, 3-year UG or 4-year UG? And is there any bad impression that we are going to face in the interview panel, or are there any differences, difficulties that we are going to face between studies and competitive exams? My second question is, sir, is there any value differences of both the degrees between 3-year UG and 4-year UG? My third question is, sir, what will be the eligibility criteria for 4-year UG for BA program students? And sir, my next question is, will there be research for only honor students, or will there be research paper for program students also? And sir, my last question is, last week there was an article of UGC chairperson that a student of 4-year UG graduate can directly pursue PhD with eligibility of 75% marks. So what about 4-year UG, then 1-year PG, or directly 4-year UG and then directly PhD?
So many things. I'll come to your thing, which is very important what you raised, because this will be more technical and also so see, students will have the priorities. They always have. And there's nothing wrong in competitive exam. That's very important. Fine, that's very important. Okay. So large number of students would be involved in competitive exam. Here it's every student chooses. You talk to your parents, you talk to your mentor, you talk to your faculty. My own thing is, if you're taking competitive exam, you have to give 100%. You can't dabble with 4 years or PG, PhD. Give the 100%. You always have time. System lets you in. Okay. That we should be clear. With 3 years, you become eligible for competitive exam. Right? That was there in the past, that's there in the present. And that's one area where jobs are there with, open system of competitive exam. UPSC, state commissions, many other places, right? So that's not the issue. But then interviews, there'll be value preferences. Prof, interviews are interviews. Your 3 years, 4-year PG does not matter. Your PhD does not matter. If you have skills, you're able to articulate your ideas, speak with clarity. The minimum. See, not only this government, governments over the decades have established 3 years undergraduate. You clear, you are equal. Many colleagues who are teaching, you may not know, I know, they have done BA program. And they are some of the best teachers in political science. They have done BA program. and then they have done PG and they're teaching. BA Honors gives you more involvement in the subject. But honestly, BA program, if you're doing geography and political science and economics, in Oxford, they always do philosophy. Philosophy is integral part of there, right? So it depends on the program which you're offering. And so I wish actually there was enough of choices with us, real choices, fine, that I could do philosophy and political science and maths. But remember, not many of us are trained. But this is what's been thrown to us all the time, that, music and computer science going together. But if it, in that sense, remember, the structure is beautiful. But do infrastructure and involvement, right? One is there. Research degrees, as you said, is very clear. With if you've done 3 years, you'll have to do 2 years PhD, PG, then you become eligible, and then you have to qualify the UGC NET. So there is a check over there. And with 4 years, with certain CGPA, you become eligible for PhD program. Fine. That path many are going to choose. Whether BA program students, right? So BA program students in that sense, remember, for them to enter 4th year, that's one issue, but PG is open to them. 1 year PG is open to them, and 2 years PG is open to them. Whether they can do 4th year over here in certain discipline, that I'm not very clear about. Okay, I won't say things which I'm not clear, all right? But we can find out, and we can convey to the faculty members, right? That was there. See, methodologically what happens sometimes when such a serious question which you're raising about time, about so many courses, you present a contrary argument, which is not going to resolve your problem, but it may give you some kind of satisfaction. When I was doing my BA honors from Patna College, we got 15 days gap from one paper to another paper. अगर बस चलता तो एक महीने का गैप लोग मांगते. I lost 1 full year. 1 full year of my life I lost. Many state universities still are suffering from that, right? See, you are trained. Remember, you have too many courses nowadays, right? And you are trained to give exams. So I'm not just being idealistic that study will stop. Studies have to stop when exams are taking place. I'm not going to remind you that, it's not exam time you have to study. It's every day you have to study. Scheme is beautiful. That's what I'm saying. Because you may learn about things which otherwise, say somebody, not everyone is interested in sports. But those who are interested in sports person, life is sports. I mean, I was a sports person, I don't know, when I had to give up sports, I thought my life, what will I do in my life? Not because I was getting a medal, because you were so much involved in that sports, you wanted to play, you wanted to, पिटाई घर से पढ़ रहे हैं, आप घर से भाग के खेल रहे हैं, right? But some may not. Some actually never liked sports. They may like writing. This program gives you space for something or the other. And those who have never been interested learn about that, right? Now, whether institutions are living up to the program which has been thrown to us, that's for institutions to stand up. Dyal Singh College, faculty members, principals, universities, they have to do that, right? What you're saying is overburdened, right? Absolutely. But see, you're young. If you are overburdened, think of, मैं तो अपने आप को मानता ही नहीं हूं. मुझको काम आप जो दो मैं करता रहूंगा. सर ने बोला, मैं भी पढ़ के आया हूं. कल रात तक मैं फोन करता रहा, मेल करता रहा, मुझको फिर वो यूनिवर्सिटी से मैंने पावर पॉइंट का लेके आया, जो यूनिवर्सिटी इसी में प्रेजेंट किया गया था. I have to do this homework. I have to know because my students need to know. And still I'm not very clear about your question and about your question, right? I wish I was more clear, I'll try to message them if I get clear because it's going to happen everywhere. So, Prof, 3 months is a good time. It's a huge time, but not for research paper. It's good for courses which you're doing it. But for research paper, you need that 6 months. You need 1 year for dissertation. 4th year में वो रहेगा. It won't be overloaded with many of allied courses as such. हाँ? हम subsidiary बोलते थे, आपके लिए नए नए नाम आ गए हैं. But subsidiary के students, trust me, आज में मैं देखता हूँ ना राकेश को रामनारायण में या प्रज्ञा को देखता हूँ किरण कॉलेज में, तो मैं बोलता हूँ सबसे पहले से मैं इन्हीं लोग को जानता हूँ. हिंदी के थे, इतने सवाल आते थे उनसे पॉलिटिकल साइंस के, या इकोनॉमिक्स वाले बैठे रहते थे, परेशान कर देते थे. मैं एडम स्मिथ बोलना शुरू करूं, वो पढ़े हुए हैं. अब वो पढ़े हुए तो मैं कितना पढ़ के जाऊंगा भाई. रिकार्डो शुरू कर रहा हूं पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमी पे, रेंट का वो प्रॉब्लम बताने लगते हैं, पूछने लगते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स आर नास्टी ना, दे आर डेविल्स, वो ऐसे ऐसे सवाल खोज के लाते हैं क्लास में कि आपको, अब देखो ना, ये 4 सवाल खोज के लाए, उधर 3 सवाल तुम खोज के आए हो, कहां से आंसर मिलेंगे. But thank you so much for doing this, raising this issue. Please raise. This is important. Absolutely important what you're raising is.
I think we can take one or two questions फिर wind up करेंगे.
स्टूडेंट का सर एक कहना होता है कि सर अभी तक बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट पूछ रहे हैं कि 7th सेमेस्टर का कोई पेपर अभी अपलोड नहीं है, ना सिलेबस अपलोड है, ना जो पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन 1 ईयर का है, ना उसका कोई स्ट्रक्चर है, ना सिलेबस है. तो इनका ये है कि अभी बहुत अनसर्टेनिटी है, तो हम लोगों को करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट पूछ रहे हैं हम लोगों से कि अभी तो सर 7th सेमेस्टर 8th सेमेस्टर का भी सिलेबस भी नहीं आया है पॉलिटिकल साइंस का, किसी भी सब्जेक्ट का. सर
आपके बहुत चॉइसेस हैं, करेंगे. 4th ईयर का भी चॉइस है, 1 ईयर पीजी का भी चॉइस है, 2 ईयर पीजी का भी चॉइस है. कुछ सर्टेन है, बट रिमेंबर उस स्ट्रक्चर से नहीं है. रिमेंबर आई एम कॉन्स्टेंटली टेलिंग यू, दिस इज प्रॉब्ली योर, मेनी ऑफ यू इट्स लास्ट सेमेस्टर, फाइन. In that sense, it's delayed because it's not about 4th year, but what we've done in 3 years. Those 3 years are going to help. आप सिविल सर्विस का प्रीलिम्स लेते हैं ना, वो 6 महीने 1 साल के कोचिंग से नहीं होता है. जो आप स्कूल से पढ़ते रहे, माइंड में वो स्टिक करता है, वो इंस्टेंटली वो आता है, वो इंट्यूशन आता है, एंड देन यू क्लिक दैट, राइट. सो दैट प्रोग्राम, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ट्रस्ट मी, यू हैव टू गो बैक टू योर एमए में आने पे मैं बोलता हूँ आप अंडर ग्रेजुएट का रीडिंग पढ़ लेते, तो मैं एमए स्टूडेंट्स को बोलता हूं कि आप अंडर ग्रेजुएट का सिलेबस खोलें, उसकी रीडिंग्स आप पढ़ लें, तो एमए भी आपका हो जाएगा. बिकॉज द अंडर ग्रेजुएट सिलेबस इन पॉलिटिकल साइंस हैज लिटरली एवरीथिंग एंड द कॉम्प्लेक्स. हाँ, सो नहीं, अभी मुझको रुकना चाहिए नो. हाँ, आपका भी है, आपका भी है. हाँ, बोलो ना, सबसे पीछे से शुरू कर लेते हैं.
And a better faculty. So is there an option to switch institutions within the same university to get a better exposure and better faculty in the place of the students who are quitting the 3rd year?
So 4th year, we don't know whether, but see, remember earlier there was system where there was principle of migration, right? If you look at the program, for PhD program, there is a provision of credit transfer. It's there. But it's still not there at undergraduate level, because then you have to carry that credit to another institution. And that right now I'll say you don't have that option. You'll have to stick to your college till the time university actually opens up for this, right? That's one. Anything else? No? Thank you. Huh.
Like from the academic point of view, I would like to ask if the students who are pursuing normal 2 years program of MA and not pursuing for the 4-year PhD program, so would there be any future problems in terms of going in the academic field or not? First of all, this, and second one would be one of our personal choice question. What do you think, sir? What should we do right now? Should we pursue for the MA, PG, or we should go for our 4G UG program?
Okay, so 2-year program if you're doing is absolutely fine. There's no problem over there. That's the old structure, 3+2. You get training over there. Remember, right now in 2 years program, the dissertation provision is not there, right? It used to be there, it's not there. In 4-year program, you will have a research paper dissertation provision. But otherwise, training is there. trust me, you don't let anyone think for you. Not me, not education minister. You will have to think for yourself, and you must. You may be in dilemmas, trouble, paradoxes, but don't let anyone else think for you. Okay? Not teachers, not education minister, not me, not VC. You will have to think. And after your thought, because then you're going to owe the choices which you made. You'll have to stand up with choices. You can't blame that faculty did not do that, university did not do that. So you have actually now choices, which is coming up, and you know the world outside. So choose the best which you connect with the world outside, right? Yours.
Sir,
You'll have to speak in mic.
very good morning, sir. Sir, my question is quite technical. Sir, if I'm not sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, that if a person has to apply for an assistant professor in the Central University, I think for the interview call, his qualification should be based on what he has done in UG and PG combined. I think the criteria is that way. Sir, I have just identified that there is a gap of 0.5 marks in what you just explained. For instance, a person X has completed 4-year graduation policy, and soon after that he gave NET examination, in which he qualified for the assistant professor and PhD both combined. And after that he applies for assistant professor in X university. And a person who has done UG 3 years plus PG 2 years, that entirely makes his score 6.5, as compared to what a person X who has done just 4 years and NET has 6
Six.
total. So, sir, that difference of 0.5 marks will affect in the qualification as well, sir. The criteria,
It's,
the cutoff,
it's
making for interview.
something important which you're pointing out. So 4-year plus 1 PG makes you 6.5, right? 4-year gives you 6 points. You become eligible for PhD. And with PhD, you become eligible for assistant professor. But even without PhD, remember, gap lies that, and things change. The ministry has changed, UGC has changed it so often. So at present, everyone who needs to become, who's applying for assistant professor would require NET, fine, or exempted because they have completed PhD, right? The new thing which is coming up with after 4 years, you become eligible for PhD, right? But for PhD, you need NET, right? So then you become eligible for assistant professor. Now, whether that 1 year, like 0.5, would make a difference in terms of eligibility, the document does not say that. Document doesn't. And that's the important query which you ask. Because suppose I take 4-year program, and then I do PhD. And then after that, after 4 years, someone tells me that you're not eligible for assistant professor position. Right? That will be a problem. Now, the document does not say, they do not bar anyone from taking up the position of assistant professor after 4-year and PhD. Now, that may be a way to not to respond to your question, right? But we are trained sometimes to do this, not to create confusion, but to assure you that nothing is, there's no bar as such. That means you are eligible. Until they specifically bar that those who've done 4 years, and they can't do that. Once you given this option to students that are doing 4 years plus PhD, you can't go back and turn back on those students who've done this and say, now you're not eligible. That can't happen. For the batches which you do 4-year program and they do PhD and clear NET, that eligibility no one can take away. Their rules will apply for the future, not only for this.
Sir, I apologize for cross questioning you. Sir, for instance, मैंने UG किया 4-year वाला, उसके बाद मैंने अप्लाई किया एक यूनिवर्सिटी में, साथ में एक और कोई पर्सन Y ने अप्लाई किया with 3 years graduation और 2 year master. तो सर वो जो 0.5 का डिफरेंस आएगा, सर वो कट ऑफ में भी तो प्रॉब्लम कर सकता है?
नहीं, I don't think so. See, already you must know that many assistant professors, many professors who've done 4-year abroad, who've done PhD, and they are appointed. They are appointed.
year, 7.5 will compensate for this 0.5 difference.
No, so 4-year it will be
For direct PhD, you need 7.5.
for those who, that, thank you so much. That's one way of looking at. But that's, remember, CGPA. This is level we are talking about. Level 6, 5.5 UG, and then 5.5 with 3 years UG. 4th year you come to 6th level. With 1 year MA PG you come to 6.5 level. But what you talked about was the marks which you're getting, right?
Actually, that happens in some of the universities.
Some of the universities happens, but I think public universities still they follow UGC thing, so they're not. So in some of the private universities, what they do, and remember, don't shun. Private universities are important spaces for all of you for job and recruitment. They're demanding, but that's good because you'll have to really excel to reach that. So don't shun any area. All areas open to you, and apply for everywhere. But I don't think that will come in a way of recruitment because the scheme is there, which is Government of India has accepted it. It's already been implemented, and you can't reverse when you have already implemented the scheme.